In the end of May 2018, Roseanne Barr tweeted what was considered to be a highly controversial and racist tweet at former Obama aide Valerie Jarrett. The tweet resulted in the immediate cancellation of her extremely popular TV show, Roseanne. The tweet was considered to be criminally racist, and the mainstream media absolutely crucified Roseanne Barr for the single tweet she made against the former Obama aide. The tweet in question: if the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ, is this tweet racist? Before I answer that, who exactly is Valerie Jarrett? Despite being born in Shiraz, Iran, Valerie is an American. Both of her parents are far left-leaning aristocrats who have strong links to communism and have a record of dirty politics attached to their names. Only Valerie's father was of African American descent, but it is very difficult to guess Valerie's ethnicity without doing a bit of research. This is Valerie. As I said, her ethnicity is extremely hard to guess, and even guessing it is considered racist. But one thing is absolutely for certain: she does not look like an ape. Could it be that Roseanne was referring to her extremely Planet of the Apes-like speech she gave back in 2012? After we win this election, it's our turn. Payback time. Everyone not with us is against us, and they better be ready because we don't forget. The ones who helped us will be rewarded. The ones who opposed us will get what they deserve. There is going to be hell to pay.
For the inevitable day of man's downfall, the day when he finally and self-destructively turns his weapons against his own kind, the day of the writing in the sky, when your cities lie buried under radioactive rubble, when the sea is a dead sea, and the land is a wasteland, out of which I will lead my people from their captivity, and we shall build our own cities, in which there will be no place for humans except to serve our ends, and we shall found our own armies, our own religion, our own dynasty, and that day is upon you now!
Even the guys from the Sons of Africa call her the battle ape from Planet of the Apes.
You know Valerie Jarrett, who is one of the chief advisors to Barack Obama. I fondly refer to her as the star of the Planet of the Apes, the albino ape.
Roseanne Barr is on the other side of the political fence. She supports Trump, believes that America should enforce the current immigration laws, and wants equal opportunity for all those aspiring to be more than benefit leeches.
Got very excited about the fact that Roseanne Connor is a Trump supporter on the show.
Well, she did vote for the president.
She voted for the president.
Yep, she did.
And she, and that is part of, I don't want to give anything away, but that's part of the dynamic with you and your family on that show. Now,
yeah, and in real life. It's like everybody's family is pissed off at each other for one thing or the other.
Is your family mad at you?
Well, you know, we had some pro-Hillarys and some pro-Trump, and there was a lot of fighting. Did you agree with her foreign policy?
Listen, never mind her foreign policy. How about Captain Wacko we got running the country here? I mean, the foreign policy. I'm shocked because I know you were a very liberal, socially liberal person in general. I mean,
I'm still the same. You all moved.
We did?
You all went so far out, you lost everybody.
This is something that is hard to swallow today because of the petty politics forced down our throats on a daily basis by the mainstream media. Everybody is offended, everybody needs to be protected, and everybody is useless without their government. Today, people believe that there's a handful of chosen people who will succeed in life, and the rest are useless beings who need benefits and handouts to survive. And that is because children are being taught that they cannot achieve their dreams in school.
Redistribution of wealth does not achieve competition, because it turns out that what actually achieves competition is the sort of values that you impose in your work life. This is why if you have a bunch of people who win the lottery, disproportionately people who are poor and win the lottery end up poor again. The reason people are permanently poor in the United States is not because they don't have money, it's because they suck with money. The reason people are temporarily poor is because they don't have money. The reason they're permanently poor, okay, this is self-evident, folks, that's not even controversial. If you're poor in America your entire life, you are not great with money by definition.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Yeah,
Shapiro.
you have to take another question.
I'm at a point right now, quite frankly, where I'm going to dismiss the students. I know there are other questions that would like to be asked. It's
Why?
with all due respect, Mr. Shapiro. I think what this is getting into now is it's starting to cross the line. And
What would that line be?
Why are they crossing the line? I don't see nothing wrong.
If your parents are poor, you will be poor. If your parents are dumb, you will be dumb. This is the worldview of the far left. They cannot take care of themselves and need the government to do it for them. Anyone that agrees is an entitled fascist. It is absolutely ridiculous. But this is the sort of politics the Bowman family has been pushing for many decades. Bowman being Valerie's real family name. I might add that Bowman is an Anglo-Saxon name, not an African-American name. And although Valerie's father was of African-American descent, he was also of white European descent. Racism hardly comes into play here. But anyway, back to the Bowmans.
Valerie Jarrett worked for Daley as the sole African American in his administration. She was supposed to be the outreach person to the black community. Although she comes from such a rarefied background, very wealthy family, that she had very little to do with the street. I mean, she didn't really know.
Her parents were wealthy and her grandparents were wealthy.
Yes, very wealthy.
Yeah.
And she was the deputy chief of staff for Daley for quite a while and hired Michelle Obama.
There we go.
And it was through Valerie Jarrett that Michelle and Barack Obama met the power structure in Chicago. She, Valerie, introduced them to people who were connected and who had money and could fund Barack Obama's ambitions.
And they were pretty good politicians.
That's right.
They were good at Chicago. They got their people elected in Chicago that they wanted to over the years and ran that with an iron fist, and they took that same philosophy to Washington, D.C., and we didn't know that.
You know, Barack Obama is a great campaigner and a bad president.
FBI files obtained by Judicial Watch reveal that the dad, maternal grandpa, and father-in-law of President Obama's trusted senior advisor, Valerie Jarrett, were hardcore communists under investigation by the US government. Jarrett's dad, pathologist and geneticist Dr. James Bowman, had extensive ties to communist associations and individuals, his lengthy FBI file shows. In 1950, Bowman was in communication with a paid Soviet agent named Alfred Stern, who fled to Prague after getting charged with espionage. Bowman was also a member of a communist sympathizing group called the Association of Interns and Medical Students. After his discharge from the Army Medical Corps in 1955, the FBI records show Bowman moved to Iran to work. According to Bowman's government file, the Association of Interns and Medical Students is an organization that has long been faithful followers of the Communist Party line and engages in un-American activities. Bowman was born in Washington, D.C., and had deep ties to Chicago, where he often collaborated with fellow communists. Judicial Watch also obtained documents on Bowman from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, showing that the FBI was brought in to investigate him for his membership in that group that follows the Communist Party line. The Jarrett family communist ties also includes a business partnership between Jarrett's maternal grandpa, Robert Rochin Taylor, and Stern, the Soviet agent associated with her dad. Jarrett's father-in-law, Vernon Jarrett, who is also another big-time Chicago communist, according to a separate FBI file obtained by Judicial Watch as part of a probe into the Jarrett's family's communist ties. For a period of time, Vernon Jarrett appeared on the FBI's security index and was considered a potential communist saboteur who was to be arrested in the event of a conflict with the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. His FBI file reveals that he was assigned to write propaganda for a Communist Party front group in Chicago that would disseminate the Communist Party line among the middle class. It has been well documented that Valerie Jarrett, a Chicago lawyer and longtime Obama confidant, is a liberal extremist who wields tremendous power in the White House. Faithful to her roots, she still has connections to many communist and extremist groups, including the Muslim Brotherhood. Jarrett and her family also had strong ties to Frank Marshall Davis, a big Obama mentor and Communist Party member with an extensive FBI file. Judicial Watch has exposed Valerie Jarrett's many transgressions over the years, including her role in covering up a scandalous gun-running operation carried out by the Department of Justice. Last fall, Judicial Watch obtained public records that showed Jarrett was a key player in the effort to cover up that Attorney General Eric Holder lied to Congress about the Fast and Furious, a disastrous experiment in which the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives allowed guns from the US to be smuggled into Mexico so they could eventually be traced to drug cartels. Instead, federal law enforcement officers lost track of hundreds of weapons which have been used in unknown number of crimes, including the murder of a US Border Patrol agent in Arizona. In 2008, Judicial Watch got documents linking Valerie Jarrett, who also served as co-chairman of Obama's presidential transition team, to a series of real estate scandals, including several housing projects operated by convicted felon and Obama fundraiser friend Antoine Tony Rezko. According to the documents obtained from the Illinois Secretary of State, Valerie Jarrett served as a board member for several organizations that provided funding and support for Chicago slum projects operated by Rezko. Additionally, Valerie's opinion on the so-called white America and Christianity would be considered highly offensive and racist if only you could be racist against white people. It has also been reported that she gave the stand-down orders in Benghazi, which resulted in the slaughter of Americans at the hand of Muslim terrorists. So, you could say, her religious bias and racism is why Americans died. She let it happen. And then, of course, there is the unbelievable emails you will find in the DNC email leaks she sent. Vote user Psychonaut did a simple search in the WikiLeaks database for Valerie Jarrett and pizza, and the result was emails sent with the following references and documents attached. 1. A document about child abduction. 2. A document about organ harvesting. 3. A reference to a missing child called Annie. After doing a little bit more research on Annie, you can find a tweet her mother posted in 2015, which alleges that the government abducted and trafficked the young girl under the guise of law. What the hell do any of these things have anything to do with pizza? Well, if you are awake and well informed, you know exactly what these things have to do with pizza. Furthermore, it might be important to note that Valerie's mother worked with underprivileged children. Barbara Taylor Bowman, born October 30th, 1928, is an American early childhood education expert, advocate, professor, and author. Her areas of expertise include early childhood care education, educational equity for minority and low-income children, as well as intergenerational family support and roles. She has served on several boards and was the co-founder of the Erickson Institute. Whether or not Valerie Jarrett is involved in these terrible crimes against humanity, there is certainly enough information out there to make people question her. Her political views are extreme to the counterside, and she is also a has-been in the political realm. So why is she so protected? Roseanne's tweet summed up Valerie's political views perfectly. She is an Islamo-communist who supports the degradation and suppression of Islamic women, and believes that the African-American populace should take back America from their white captors. Supports extremist Muslim beliefs. The Muslim Brotherhood wants a revolution against the white man, Planet of the Apes. Perhaps there is something to Valerie's link to Pedogate. After all, Roseanne Barr has been very outspoken about child trafficking in Washington, D.C. Perhaps they used this moment to completely discredit this actress and former politician. But is Roseanne Barr a racist Islamophobe?
Oh, good. Yemen's not even on the travel ban list.
Yes, it is. While some viewers felt uncomfortable ahead of the episode, sending tweets like, "People believe this kind of stuff and it can end in violence," others seeing an opening to look at bias and learn from it. The Council on American Islamic Relations National Executive Director tweeting he laughed and was moved by the episode, writing, "I appreciate the real Roseanne's recognition of rising Islamophobia in the U.S. It impacts American Muslim families and children."
No, she even addressed the major issue of Islamophobia in her hit show and was praised by the Council of Islamic American Relations.
After decades of ignoring the issue, Americans are finally paying attention. Well, most of us. Ivanka Trump, who works at the White House, chose to post the second most oblivious tweet we've seen this week. You know, Ivanka, that's a beautiful photo of you and your child, but let me just say, one mother to another, do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless cunt. He listens to you. Put on something tight and low cut and tell your father to fucking stop it.
But hey, one edgy joke on Twitter cost Roseanne Barr her career. Yet when a comedian calls the first daughter a dumb cunt and insinuates that she is an incestuous whore on live television, nothing happens.
Ha 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 ha.